Okay, finally, I think I've gotten the hang of it. Yeah, it's setting up now. And we'll be going live on YouTube in the next 3, 2, 1. And we are... Okay, finally, I think I've gotten the hang of it. Yeah, we are setting up now. And we'll be going live on YouTube. Okay, so we are live, everyone. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching us around the world. My name is Fola Alade. I'm an attorney mediator, and I will be handling a live mediation session for you all to see. A bit of an insight into what it is we're trying to do here, and generally the inspiration behind the mediator or mediation in action actually, is to take everyone behind the scenes to see what really happens in mediation. You know, there's this misconceived notion that mediation is very easy. It's not exactly structured among so many other things. And so that was basically the inspiration, you know, to show people what it is that we do back end. That's number one. Then number two, I'm so sorry, I have a bad cough, so you have to please indulge me. Is just have contemporary issues, to have a discussion on contemporary issues surrounding mediation. Please be informed that this conversation is totally unscripted, and we're not here to talk about the benefits of mediation and all those topics. We're just basically here to just analyze the business and practice of mediation from a global perspective. You know, so that's essentially what we'll be doing over the next 90 minutes or less. So I must also add that even though it's simulated, it's unscripted, and we may not be able to conclude a full mediation session in 1 hour. We'll just basically look for a safe place to stop. And I would also want you all watching to please focus on my role as a mediator, to look at what stood out for you in my role as a mediator. And and if there's also one thing I like to do, is to also put myself on the hot seat. So probably there is something that you feel you would have done better if we switch roles to, please, let's just basically talk about it, and let's have a general conversation on mediation. I'm so passionate about mediation. I believe it is going to be the future of dispute resolution, but there are so many factors mitigating against its growth. So we'll just basically have a conversation around it, and then we'll begin. So having said that, I would first of all introduce the participants. We have the real names actually. We have Bemi. Bemi, can you please first of all introduce yourself before we talk about your character? Let's get to meet you and what it is that you do. Can you unmute yourself, Bemi?
So my name is Bemiro Shobaki, and I've been following Mr. Fola, the fixer. I've been following him he has been consistent in his mediation practice. So I usually follow him, although I've never really reached out to him, but I've been following him for years. And one thing that stood out for me was his consistency. Also, he said I should introduce myself, but the introduction wouldn't be complete without introducing his impact. So at the time I started following him, I thought mediation was just pro bono. But after listening to him, I discovered that you can actually make money. And then I became more intentional about making money. But I'm still in the business of making more money. So I'm a mediator. I trained with the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. And after listening to him, that was when I now started training some mediators too. So it's like someone I followed, and I'm sorry for always introducing him instead of introducing myself, but that's just the truth, yeah. I've been inspired by him, and I've been a mediator with Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse and some other mediation institute, and I am very passionate about mediation. So when I heard somebody saying that he sleeps and thinks mediation, I was like, I can relate with that. I sleep mediation, but beyond passion, one thing I noticed about him was his ability to monetize it. So that's me.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind introductions. Thank you so much. Okay, so maybe we'll be taking the role of Lisa Goldman. I believe you all have actually read the role play now. So I'll move over to Samuel.
Yes,
Samuel,
sir.
so can you introduce yourself and let's know who you are and what it is that you do before we get into the role play proper. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much, sir. Thank you for introducing a very creative and radical strategy in the ADR space. I'm Samuel Orobos Osai. I'm a dispute resolution officer with the Edo State Multi-Door Courthouse. I'm a resource person, faculty member of other ADR institutes, very passionate about ADR, specifically mediation. It's a privilege to tag with the global mediator on this project. Thank you for the privilege. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So now that we're done with the introductions, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the role proper. So we have Lisa Goldman, and then we have the MD of Heritage, and I will be the mediator. So when I say 3, 2, 1, we get into the role. 3, 2, 1 moment, please. Let me just pull up something, and then we begin. So 3, 2, 1. Action. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fola Alade. You can please address me as mediator Fola, and I will be the mediator handling your session for today. So let me first of all start off with the applicant. So can you please introduce yourself and let me know how you want to be addressed? So madam, what's your name?
My name is Lisa Goldman. You can address me as Lisa because
Okay,
of the
thank you.
mediation.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll address you as Lisa. Thank you. And you, sir, can you please introduce yourself and how may I address you?
My name is Chief Maduka Cosmos. I am the MD of a Heritage Factory. For the course of this mediation session, please do call me MD.
MD. Okay, thank you so much, MD. I would like to confirm if both of you can hear me clearly. Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
please.
You are audible.
Okay. Yeah. So I would also want to thank both of you for choosing mediation as a preferred way of having dispute resolved. Please give me a minute to just give an insight into what we'll be doing over the next 120 minutes or less. So mediation essentially is an amicable way of having issues resolved. It's important to state here that I am not a judge. So my job is a facilitator, and I'm here to facilitate an amicable resolution of dispute between both of you. Now, this mediation session will run in 3 phases. The first phase is the plenary phase, where Lisa will get to tell us what the issue is and what she wants from the mediation session. And in the same breath, we also have the MD to also, first of all, react to give his own version of what the issue is, and then react to the demands possibly made by Lisa. And if there is a need, we'll then go into the caucusing. So caucusing essentially is a private conversation that the mediator can have with either of you. And please understand that whatever it is you tell the mediator during the caucusing will be in strict confidence. Then hopefully we get to move to the concluding phase. It's very important, Lisa and MD, that I state the benefit of mediation. Top on the list is confidentiality. Anything and everything we say will be within the confines of this mediation session. It's also voluntary to the effect that you both have presented yourself here. It's without prejudice to the effect that anything you say here cannot be used as evidence in a court of law. It's also neutral to the effect that I'm just meeting the both of you for the first time, and it's self-determinant to the effect that we all will work towards an amicable resolution of the issues in contention. It's also very important, and Lisa and MD, that I state some ground rules that would help us so that this mediation does not degenerate into some type of argument. First on the list is to please ask that you either switch off your phones or please put your phones on silent, and you should please ensure that this mediation session, which is shrouded in confidentiality, should also not be recorded. And you should also please agree to speak in turns. And if at any point in time you feel they need to speak, kindly please just raise your virtual hands, and you can rest assured that I will take it once the other party is done speaking. There should also please be no abusive languages, sarcasms, or innuendos in any way, manner, or form. And if at any point in time parties feel I'm being partial, excuse me, they should please call my attention to it. And if it persists, I will recuse myself from the mediation session. So I've been able to confirm Lisa Goldman as representing herself, and Chief Cosmas Maduka as the MD of Heritage. So since Chief is here in his personal capacity as the MD, I may not ask him for a letter of authority. So before we get into the mediation proper, I would like to ask if there is any question, any feedback, any comments, and then we'll get right into it. So Lisa, do you have any question for me?
I
Lisa, do
don't
you
have
have
any question.
Okay, thank you so much. And MD, do you have any question for me?
No question, Mr. Mediator.
Okay, thank you so much. So Lisa, could you just give a summary of what the issue is, and most importantly, what you would like from this mediation session? The floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Lisa Goldman. I've been working for Heritage Factory for the past 5 years, and I've been so dedicated. I come early to work. I close late where I have to close late in order to conclude my tasks for the day. And I've been working diligently. I've never had any problem with the management staff. I've been doing my work well, and the nature of my job is my task in the organization is to seal up polythene bags where sneakers are kept. So the company produce sneakers. So when they produce it, I seal the polythene bag and pass it on to the next person. So I was just in the course of my work, doing my work, and I noticed my colleague was sleeping, and I've told them that we have been taught during staff training that when we should work as a team. So I felt my colleague should not be sleeping when she's working because it will affect her work and she may even injure herself. So I decided to tap her and wake her up from sleep. And before I could turn back to my own work, I just noticed that my the machine had cut off my fingers, and I was now wondering that what must have I was in pain, and the only thing I could remember is I was taken to the hospital and I was treated, but I don't think that is enough enough um enough remedy or enough compensation. And it cut off two of my fingers, and because I was not able to walk the way I used to walk, my employment was terminated. That means they sent me out of the office and they said I shouldn't work for them anymore. Now I need to survive because and I barely went to university, so I don't know how I'm going to survive without a job. So I just want these people to compensate me. I cannot leave the office that way. I've been through a lot. In fact, I've tried my best after my termination to apply to other places for a job, but they kept turning down my offer because of my predicament. So I don't know what the center can do for me. I don't know.
Okay, Lisa. So I'm just going to give a summary of what you have stated. You said that you had been working with Heritage diligently for the past 5 years, and you've never actually had any problem with them. And that the nature of your job has to do with sealing polythene bags, which you were doing and then passing it on to the next person. And that in the course of your job, you noticed your colleague was sleeping and you tried to wake her up. But there was then an accident that resulted in you losing your two fingers. Yeah, you were unconscious and taken to the hospital. And basically, you feel that you were not compensated enough. And aside from that, you stated that you were terminated, that your appointment was terminated, and that as it is right now, you need to survive, and that you barely went to the university. And essentially speaking, what you say you want is to be compensated. And Lisa, does that give a summary of what you have said?
Yes, it does, sir.
Okay, so now can we put context into the compensation that you would want from heritage factories? So what kind of compensation are you looking at, if I may ask?
I want I want I want monetary compensation, and in
Okay.
addition to monetary compensation, I want to be reinstated. Although my role can change because my fingers are off. So there's any other role that will not involve the use of my fingers, I don't mind taking it. In the alternative, if that can't be done, I would love to be compensated in the tune of about um I'll be love to compensated in a sum that I could use to start up a business so
Okay,
that I
so
won't have to come back.
okay, so it will help greatly if we can put a figure to the monetary compensation so that we don't leave it hanging. So you should have a figure in mind, Lisa, so that I can take that as the
Okay.
agenda in terms of what it is that you want from this mediation session. So what figure are you looking at? It will help for the MD to have an idea.
$1 million. $1 million
Okay,
because
$1 million.
to set up a business. mm,
No, I'm sorry, I didn't get the last one. You said to do what, please, before you put yourself on mute.
Paid 1 million, I don't need to come back. I can go and start a business.
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, Lisa, please don't put yourself on mute for now. Are you saying that it's either that you want to be compensated with a sum of 1 million naira or to be reinstated and given another role? Or are you asking for both of them together? I would like clarity.
Okay,
Or
what I mean is that I would want to be reinstated. That's the first option.
that's the
And
first option to be reinstated.
if I'm reinstated, I will still need compensation, but it won't be so much since I'm still working. I would still ask for some form of compensation, which I can collect maybe $20,000 if I'm being
No.
reinstated, since
Okay.
I'm still going to work. And if there's a way I could get artificial fingers, if it's possible, then I could continue. But if they are not reinstating me, then they'd have to pay me $1 million and artificial fingers or limb, and I'll be fine.
Okay, so let me contextualize what you have said once again, Lisa, so that we're all clear. So you said that the first option is that you'd like to be reinstated, and you don't, even if not for that, even if not in that position, but a position that may not necessarily involve the use of your fingers, and you would also want to be paid $20,000. You would also ask for artificial fingers. Now, in the alternative, if they are not willing to have you reinstated, you would be asking for a monetary compensation of $1 million. Am I correct? Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So before I move over to the MD, is there any other thing you'd like to add
Yes,
to this?
in the alternative, $1 million, and
Okay.
I should be artificial limb provided too.
Okay, $1 million and an artificial
I
limb.
don't know if you got me, sir.
I did. So you said the first
Yes.
option is a reinstatement with the option of $20,000 and artificial limb. Second option, if that is not acceptable,
Yes.
$1 million and an artificial limb. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
You're correct.
Okay then. Thank you so much, Lisa. So I will then put you on mute and then move over to the MD. Thank you very much. So MD, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, mediator.
Okay, so MD, I would like to first of all have your own version of what happened, and then get your reaction to her demands. But let's start with your version of what you think may have happened, and then we'll look at then get your reaction to her demands. The floor is yours, MD.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mediator. My version may not be too different from what Lisa may have said, but just to
Okay.
chip in some ingredients to enable you to appreciate what we stand for and how we value our stuff. Heritage Factory is a global brand. We're into the manufacturing of sneakers. We have outlets worldwide. And thus far, we hold the welfare of our staff in high esteem. She has worked with us for a couple of years, but it became obvious due to the issue that happened to her. We could no longer retain her services. When she was speaking, she said she tried to wake a colleague of hers that dozed off while on the line of duty, got two of her limbs chopped off, and the next thing she could remember, she saw herself in the hospital. But I'm sure she would have been a little bit more open to let you know that the company took good care of her. We rushed her to the hospital, took care of all her medical bills without any form of issue. And we have insurance cover for all our staff. We did the needful to the latter. All the terms and conditions stated in her letter of employment, we had done everything that she needed from us. And she left in good faith. So we were taken aback. She just turned around saying, we need to do A, we need to do B. I don't think my company, our factory is disposed to doing much more than we have done. She has been well taken care of. All her medical expenses were covered by in fact, what we spent on her outweighed what our policy actually outlined. But because of the value we have for our staff, we did all we could do. I'm sure if she had gotten another form of engagement, she would have not turned back at us. Maybe she has not tried enough to get a living from where she is. She's making so many demands, option A, option B, option C, option D, without any form of precision as to what she's looking for. Speaking on behalf of the company, we have done the needful. We have discharged due diligence regarding our relationship with her. And from us, we don't think we can do more than we have done. We deserve appreciation. We deserve commendation from her for what has been done. That is what we can say from our end. Thank you, Mr. Mediator. I hope I was audible.
Yes, you were, MD. And is it okay if I give a summary of what you said? You started off by saying that your own account is not any different from hers. You just added the fact that the Heritage Factory is a global brand in the manufacture of sneakers, and that she has worked with you for a couple of years. And you also acknowledged the fact that there was an accident, and you stated that she was rushed to the hospital and she was taking good care of. As a matter of fact, there was an insurance and was discharged in good health. And your words will be taken aback that she came back asking for making her demands, and that you spent over and above the policy, and you don't think that you can do more than what has been said. So can I just ask again by way of trying to to understand certain things. So can I get your specific reaction to our list of demands? First, the option of being reinstated and being paid $20,000 with an artificial limb. Can I get your reaction to that? And the second option of, in the alternative, if the first option does not go well with you, the second option of being paid $1 million and an artificial limb. So can I get a reaction to both demands from her?
I don't think we have anything to do with either of both options. As far as the company is concerned, Heritage Factory have done what we ought to do. And it's funny we are not being appreciated. Between when she was fully discharged, when she fully recovered and went home, no family member of ours called to even thank the company. No relative of ours, oh, sir, thank you for what has
That's
been
not
done.
true. That's
The
not
only,
true.
the only thing,
Yeah,
the only
I'm so
thing,
sorry, Lisa. May I remind you that I'm so sorry that you remember the ground rules that you should please raise your hands before you speak so that we don't have both of you speaking together. So sorry about that. Please continue, MD. Thank you.
we didn't want to actually do a thorough investigation as per what led to the accident that happened. We just felt as a global brand, we owe our staff a duty to respond to them when there's need. We did what we could do. So coming back saying we need to compensate her, on what basis? Was she not treated? Was the insurance policy not properly executed? As far as the Heritage Factory is concerned, we've done the needful. Any extra demand will not be considered. So we are not looking at any of our demand whatsoever. It is appalling. It's appalling.
Okay, thank you so much, MD. But may I also remind you again of the ground rules about the type of words to be used. So appalling may be falls within the context of it. So I would please ask that you take that word back so that we don't have a back and forth.
Sincere apologies, sincere apologies. We are surprised at her demands, demanding for reinstatement, demanding for compensation, demanding for artificial names. They are just too much to consume.
Okay, thank you so much, MD. Okay, so I will just take this comment from Lisa, and then we'll go into caucusing. So Lisa, I see your hand is up. Can you please unmute yourself?
Sir, I am very disappointed with the way the company is going about this entire issue because I've been so committed. I've been dedicated to the company. I come earlier than when I'm supposed to resume. I close later, not because I was told to close, but I was just committed to my work. And the MD is aware of best international practices on labor law and even the law applicable to labor law. I actually got this information from someone that advised me because I'm not a lawyer, I don't know much, but I sought counsel and they told me there are laws that govern this stuff, and based on those laws, I deserve more than this, so I can't settle for less, and I'm really in pains as I speak to you. So I'm really agitated. Why would the company say that they've done enough? They've not even started, not to talk of doing enough. I've been through a lot. Imagine someone losing their means of livelihood and the company is not even empathetic. They are not even putting themselves in my shoe. That's too bad. It's too bad.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lisa. So I will first of all I'll go into caucusing with first the MD of Heritage, and then I will come back to you, Lisa. So in putting you in I would in putting you in caucus, I would please ask that you just stop your video, and then it will look as if it's just yes. So for the sake of this role play, it's just myself and the MD that I'm caucus. Hello, MD. Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mediator.
Yes. So, MD, I would like to talk about Lisa, but before we even go into your reaction to what has been said, can you just briefly tell me about Rita's working relationship in your organization and how it has been for the past 5 years she has worked with you? Can we talk about that?
Thank you so much, sir. We actually closed our eyes to a lot of issues regarding her personality, her disposition to work, and her team spirit with her other colleagues. We felt what had happened, and we needed to rise up to the occasion by doing the needful. She said she comes early to work. We won't dispute that. She also said she closed late. We won't dispute that. But there have been a lot of issues, complaints about her attitude to work. Collaborating with her teammates, she causes a lot of issues. She doesn't flow well along her line of duty. There were a lot of things to question about her, but she can attest to the fact that we've never given her a query, because we do believe that people may have issues, but over time they may evolve and their rate of efficiency will increase. The constraint we are having, you can see from her body language, she has not even admitted that the company took care of all her medical bills when the incident occurred. She has not even admitted that we executed the insurance policy to the latter. And she's asking for more. No, he that comes to equity must come with clean hands. She is not appreciative of what we've done. There are better ways to proceed. There are better ways to put forth your. She's placing a demand. I'm glad she said she made some consultations. I wouldn't know who she consulted with. We don't know where she's getting her facts from. We do due diligence to all her staff. As a global brand, we have a template via which we relate with everybody. If I'm to confide in you, based on our citizens and her profile at the place of work, we couldn't have even done what we did. But we felt, let us do it so nobody will come up and complain, oh, you neglected that, you abandoned her. We covered her medical expenses throughout the period she was in the hospital. She recovered fully. And we did the needful. What more is she asking for? You've not appreciated one, you are asking for 10. That is not the best way to go about it. So, based on her approach, based on her choice of words and her line of action, the company is not ready to board regarding our position. I don't want to say she's a bit ungrateful. And the question is, imagine what she's asking for. As a global brand, if we now concede to her terms, what do you think others will do? They may become careless and expect the company to start taking care of them for life. You could see when she stopped, she went out because of her, I wouldn't maybe her attitude or her disposition, she couldn't get another job. And so she's coming back like a last resort to lean on the company and pressure us. We are here. We don't think she can compress us into the demand she's asking for. Because if we do, it will become an unwarranted precedent for other stuff.
Okay. So if I understand you, MD, for you, according to what you said, you basically have a problem with her approach and in your words, her ungrateful attitude. That's number one. Now, on the issue of starting off a bad precedent, I just felt I needed to speak to that. You're aware that mediation is subsumed in confidentiality, right? And anything and everything that is said will be within the confines of this mediation session. And as you must have noticed, your good self and Lisa signed an agreement of confidentiality. So on that issue, I don't exactly see that that being a problem if that is settled. But I would also ask you another question now. Has this ever actually happened in your organization before, where someone has this kind of injury, and what was the company's disposition to it? How did they handle it?
Yeah. We've had issues like this, even less critical and more critical. And in the spirit of hospitality, we made sure that we took care of each of our staff till they have certified recovered from the hospital. And when they are done, like for her, we gave her $5,000 as part of the insurance policy. Yes,
Okay.
as part of the insurance policy to take over, excluding all we expended on her medication. So the issue is, was she ejected out of the hospital? No, we made sure she recovered. We took care of all her expenses. So our duty is to make sure that we take our staff back to where they were before they came in. It's unfortunate that she lost her limb. We couldn't have done much more than that. We have on good authority that she's troublesome.
Okay.
She's disrespectful to her immediate boss. And she does not tag along with her teammates. But we didn't consider that.
Okay.
We didn't.
But could that be the reason why you don't want to bring her back? Because I'm looking at a list of demands. She stated that she still would want to very much work with the organization, if not for another position that may not require her use of limbs. Don't you think? What's your response to that about
I
bringing
think
her
I,
back to that position?
I think where she got it all wrong was her approach, the way she started, the way you the way you make it, so you lie on it. We believe there's a way she would have come in and would have considered that and maybe thought of how best to assist her. But she has not admitted what we have done. So on what basis do we even consider doing more? That is the issue.
Okay, still there. It still goes back to the issue of the approach. Okay, so but is that option something you're willing to look at? Just a conversation between the two of us. Is that an option you may be willing to look at if there is a change of approach? Just thinking out loud.
I think for me, she's placing too much on the table.
Okay.
She's asking, oh, I want to come back. Now, what we are saying is, you've not thanked us for what has been done. No commendation, no appreciation, but we didn't mind. Now you are coming back. The fear is this, with this attitude of hers, letting her back even at another maybe schedule. Are we not sure the worst will happen? Because we're beginning to think, is it a way of getting back at the company? Because we have it on good authority from our colleagues, from our line manager. She doesn't work well with them. She has issues. But we've never complained to her. She's never aware that the management is aware of all this she's doing. We've never confronted her. We've never invited her into any panel. We just kept it because we feel that people have their individual differences. So if she's really humble and remorseful, it will show in her attitude. Our thinking is she coming back to get back at us? If not, it should show in her disposition.
Okay then. Thank you so much, MD. So I will be having a private conversation with Lisa. Now, because everything we have said here is in confidentiality, is there any part of this you would not want me to discuss with her? So I can just probably just keep it in confidence.
Okay,
How do
I think from what we have seen today, she's now aware that the company understands and we have information about her friction with her colleagues. So you can just take that out. Help us see if she can, one, admit to the fact that we took care of her medications, we executed the insurance policy, and if she's appreciative of what has been done, then we can consider bringing her in. But what she's putting on the table, permit me to say, they are realistic demands, and we cannot just accept all hook, line, and sinker.
Okay then. Thank you so much, MD. So if I understand you clearly, with the exception of the information of the friction she's having with her colleagues, I can have a conversation with her on every other thing. Am I correct?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay then. So thanks so much, MD. So I'll just please take you to the waiting room and then have a conversation with Lisa, and I'll be back with you. Thank you so much, MD.
Thank you, Mr. Ojeto.
So I'm going to switch off your video now. Thank you. So Lisa, can you please switch on your video? Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. I hope I didn't keep
Thank
I
you.
hope I didn't keep you waiting for too long, Lisa.
Well, I had no choice. I had to wait.
So Lisa, tell me about your relationship in Heritage. How has it been for the past 5 years working with them?
Like I said, I've been serious with my work. I come before everybody, I close, and I mind my business. I stay on my own, but if you disturb me, I'll deal with you.
Mm. That's a powerful word. When you say you deal with them, in what context do you deal with them, if I may ask? No, when you say you deal with
If
them,
they
in what
disturb
context?
me, for instance, I'm not disturbing anybody, I'm doing my work. I deal with them simply means that if anybody is, coming to say things, verbal abuses or things that because I'm on the lower cadre, I will say my own back. That's my own. That does not mean I'm causing any problem. I'll just say my own.
So Lisa, if I may ask you, how exactly do you feel? Do you feel angry? Do you feel sad? How are you feeling right now?
I'm not feeling happy at all. I wish you can see what is going on in my heart because imagine I've been out of job for 4 months. 4 months. I have children. I have expensive family issues I need to deal with. I can't take care of them, and I can't even do any side hustle. I can't do any side job. That's what I mean. I can't do any side job because of my predicament. So I'm feeling terrible. Feeling terrible.
Okay. So Rita, I had a call. Let's say Rita, Lisa, I had a conversation with the MD before your good self, and they stated that some of the issues they have with your good self is the fact that they felt you were not grateful for what was done to you when you were under admission vis-a-vis the payment and whatnot, and that there was no in their words there was no expression of gratitude, and that was basically what got to them. So can I get your reaction to that? They felt that that if you had shown
Yes, I am
gratitude.
grateful, although maybe I didn't show it enough, but I appreciated what they did for me. They took me to, I told you I was unconscious when the incident happened, and I found myself in the hospital. Bills were paid. I found myself home, but maybe because of the excruciating pains at the point in time, and even after the treatment, I was still not comfortable. I was in pain. So maybe that was what appeared like I was not appreciative. When someone is in pains, person may not really be in the right frame of mind to say or do what he's supposed to do, but I appreciate them. They've tried. I'm grateful.
Okay, well, since we have the MD here, maybe I'm not saying that happened, but maybe your level of appreciation was not properly communicated to the management through him, to him rather. Is this something you may be willing to probably have a conversation with him on? Because I think he gets the impression that you probably did not appreciate what was done to you, and they will probably take it up from there. Is that something you may be willing to do now that we're here in
It's
mediation?
it's not a problem. It's not a
Okay,
problem. It's not a problem. It's not a
okay then.
problem.
Okay. And secondly, would you also be willing to reconsider your your demands if they are willing to also look into it? Just thinking out loud. Would you also be willing to consider it, or is it cast in
It
stone?
depends on their counter offer. The counter
Yeah.
offer has to be reasonable. It
Okay.
depends. It's negotiable. We have been told that the introductory part of the mediation that it's about a win-win scenario. So
Is actually. Yeah, because according to them, they think you have too much on the table in terms of what it is you say you want. So, but what we can do is just take it maybe piece by piece, and let's take out the issue of the of your expression of gratitude, and then hear what he has to say on that. Is that an option you're willing to, or you're open to?
open to negotiation.
Negotiations generally, yeah. Let's just put it that way, yeah. Hmm. You're still on mute, Lisa.
Open to negotiation, sir. I'm open to negotiation with the MD of Heritage Factory, and
Beautiful.
I'm ready to appreciate him better because I didn't know they didn't. I felt I was grateful, but maybe I didn't show it enough. So I'm ready to thank him and appreciate him better.
Okay. So I would have another conversation with the MD on what you have said, and then bring both of you back to the main room, and we'll take it up from there. Is that okay by you, Lisa?
That's fine, sir.
Okay. May I ask, is there anything you've told me now that you would not want me to take out of this private caucus we're having? Probably you feel I should not divulge to the other
There's
party.
nothing because I want him to know that I appreciate him, and I want
Okay.
him to know that I don't have any problem with anybody. Just that I believe that if somebody offends you and you don't speak up, they'll continue. So if somebody offends me in the office, I need to speak out. I need to tell the person I don't like what you did. That's what I mean by dealing with the person, and I don't think it's wrong. So
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Lisa. So I would please ask to be excused for a while, and I'll get back to you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna switch off the video now. Okay. Hello, MD. Are you still there?
Yes, Mr. Mediator, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope I didn't keep you waiting for too long.
And not as much, no.
So I had an extensive conversation with Lisa, and according to her, she said she expressed gratitude, and chances are maybe it was not properly communicated to you, and that she's willing to also appreciate what the organization has done. And I'm hoping that even though I didn't tell her that you were willing to reconsider the option of reinstatement, I figured that may come out better from your good self. But I just wanted to ask that she's willing to express gratitude, and I'm hoping that if that is done, the option of reinstatement, is that an option you may want to reconsider?
Sorry, I'm surprised. You mean Lisa agreed to already show her appreciation? That is unlike her. How did you do
Well,
that?
I didn't do it actually. According to her, she said she did. And maybe the management did not communicate to you. And she was a bit taken aback that you didn't even know she showed appreciation. And it wasn't even too difficult, because for her, she felt, well, if she said it to the management, she doesn't have a problem saying it with you. And the only reason why I didn't bring up the issue of the restatement, I felt it would all go well if it comes from you. And I actually have a style. When I mediate, I don't like parties talking at each other. When I'm talking about at each other, in the sense that you will say it to me and then go back to say it to her. I feel sometimes it's better when parties speak to each other. So I'm thinking that if the issue of the apology is taken, maybe you can actually come have the conversation of the statement if you want to, and then we see how it goes. Is that especially since it's an option on the table? I don't know whether that's something you may be willing to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mediator. I appreciate the progress we have made so far. But I'm a bit worried at this point. She's asking that we reinstate her, and she also said she's in pains with her limbs. She needs medical attention. She's asking for compensation. She's asking for artificial limbs. Now the question is, if we do bring her back, how efficient will she be? So what exactly does she need? So we'll know how we'll come in. If we reinstate her now, and we can't compromise our standard because of the brand and the goodwill we've built over the years. If we bring her back, are we not going to have issues? Oh, I'm going to the hospital today. Oh, I'm ill tomorrow. Oh, I need to. So we need to be sure what exactly does she need. If we know what she needs, we'll be able to know where we can come in, because we don't want to please her and end up burning our own side of the bargain. So I think if she's precise, we'll be able to know how we can narrow down the issues and make headway.
Okay, so about that, I actually, in your words, told that you said she had too many things on the table, and she responded by saying that she's willing to negotiate. So the only reason why I didn't want to take them piece by piece was to look at a scenario where if she's open to negotiation, these are things that we can table on the table with her present, and then we take it up from there. So I think your points that you have raised, we can actually bring it forth, and then we hear what she has to say. I don't know what you think about that.
I appreciate Mr. Mediator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So MD, I will. So is there anything you said to me here that you would not want me to take out of this mediation session if we get back to
No,
the main? No.
no,
Okay.
we are making
Mm.
progress, and that is great.
Okay. So thank you so much, MD. So we'll go back to the main room, and then we'll take it up from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr.
So
Mediator.
yeah. So Lisa, could you please switch on your video? So I would like to first of all thank the both of you. My idea saying that for appreciating the process of what it is we're trying to do, which is to facilitate an amicable resolution between the both of you. So Lisa, remember we had a conversation about the expression of gratitude which the MD felt was not communicated to him, was not communicated, to which you said you did. So I think that should first of all even be the starting point. So like I told the MD in confidence, concussing, I said I have an approach. I like it when parties talk to each other as opposed to at each other. So with regards to the apology, is that something you may be willing
Sir?
to? With regards to the expression of gratitude, rather, is that something you may be willing to probably say to the MD? So then look
Okay,
at the
okay.
other options on the table. Yes. And
Okay,
MD, so
I
what I'll
want to use
just
the
do is that
opportunity
I'll
to
just
thank you, sir, and the
one moment,
entire
Lisa. One
company
moment, Lisa.
management.
Sorry, Lisa. So MD, please, you don't need to wait for me to tell you to respond. Like I said, I'm trying to bring back that rapport. So whatever she says, you can please just respond to her. So Lisa, over to you. Thank you. Please go
Okay,
ahead, Lisa.
so I'm very grateful for all your assistance, my MD, and I appreciate what you've done and the entire company. Because if you had not taken me to the hospital, maybe the situation would have been worse off. But at least, and I've seen cases where things like that can even extend to the other fingers and the whole hand will be useless. So I appreciate your assistance. I appreciate all the insurance compensation and everything. And I know there is only God that can reward you. God bless you, sir. God bless the organization. I'm very grateful.
We appreciate your understanding, and as you know, throughout your years of working with us, we never owed you, we never delayed in paying you your salary. We understand that you are unique in your own, and we dealt with you the way we felt we could have dealt with any other person. So thank you for appreciating the little we could do. If we had that, we would have done more. We are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MD and Lisa. So, Lisa, the MD mentioned certain things that we need to discuss now. And MD, on the issue of the reinstatement,
Thank you
is
for accepting.
okay. You were going to say something. Please unmute yourself. You don't need to unmute yourself again, Lisa. You can just keep yourself unmuted. So now that we're having a conversation, you don't
Okay,
need to unmute yourself. So, yeah,
okay.
the MD, on the issue of the reinstatement, is that something you may be willing to look at now that the issue of the apology is out of the way? You know, you alluded to certain things. Is this something that you may be willing to discuss? Yeah.
Okay, what we are looking at is this. This you came with this fire brigade approach, and we were not too sure you could become a bit rational and enable us explore ideas. We are thinking, we want to understand what your needs are, your precise needs. You're speaking about being reinstated. I think in the first session, you said you were in pains, you have issues, you are not medically okay, and you needed some form of compensations, you needed artificial limbs. The question that we have, what exactly do you want? Our thinking is, if you come back to the company, definitely you cannot be retained along your initial schedule. You're going to be reassigned to a new schedule. Now, you are in pains. How efficient will you be? So I think we need to know, what exactly do you need as an individual to get back on your feet. So we'll know if it's what we can do, if it's what we cannot do. So be precise beyond your several needs. What exactly do you need? Medical assistance? You need a form of job, not that you come in today, oh, I'm going to the hospital tomorrow, I'm going to the hospital the day after. What do you want?
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, MD, I think what he's trying to say, Lisa, is that what's your medical status right now? Are you okay? Are you fit enough to get back to work? And if yes, do you have special needs that would help them to know what brackets to put you into? I think that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to you carefully, and like I said initially, I was specific. I said that because it appears from the conversation that you don't mind taking me back to the organization. That's good to hear, and I appreciate you for that statement. What I need, and this incident, I've been out of work for 4 months, and I've been going to hospital. So I believe that the company has a kind of what they call it now, health insurance. So that will cover any treatment, because what is left is minor. The major thing has been treated. So that will take care of it. If I'm restated, the health insurance covers me automatically. Now, I also need artificial fingers. They need to be done by maybe the hospital that I'm registered under the health insurance. And I can reduce the amount I initially said for compensation for being out of job. Since you are taking me, I can say, okay, even if it's just $5,000 again, I can just pay that and I'll be fine. So I'm being specific. Hope you understand what I've just said, sir.
So let me contextualize it, MD. So according to her, she stated that if she's taking back the health package of the company will basically cover what it is she wants. That also she just wants an artificial limb, and she's also brought down the figure from 20 to 5. I hope that answers your question, MD, in terms of our list of demands. Are you there, MD? Can you hear me?
Yes, that's what I said, but I don't know
Yeah.
his own response.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's frozen. So MD, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Yeah,
Mr. Mide.
so can I get your response to what her demands are? So
Okay.
she said that the health package of the organization would cover her, so she doesn't need anything aside from that. All she wants is an artificial limb, and she's also reduced the amount she wants from $20,000 to $5,000. So can I get your reaction to that?
Okay. What we can say from our end, we are willing to take her back on certain grounds that the quality of our services will not be compromised.
Okay.
Yes, we have insurance policies, we have health packages, but on the ground that it cannot cover the medical costs of what she's demanding for, we can do the needful and see how we can work around the clock to alternate her pay slip until she's able to liquidate all the expenses. But the other part that we find a bit difficult, we can't be talking about compensation, reinstatement, and helping you get an artificial limb. So I think we have two sides of the coin. On one side is reinstatement and assisting you get back on your feet with your artificial limbs. On the other side of the coin is compensation. So choose on which side of the coin are you looking at?
It's okay. At this point, let me just say the way it is. The thing is, I believe that mediation, based on the explanation I got from the person who referred me, that mediation is a win-win affair. And I just didn't want to bring this out, but I'll bring it out at this point. I've tried my best. From $20,000, I've reduced to 5,000. So both parties should be able to give up something for the other person. I have tried. And if this matter gets public, or if we had decided to go to the court, or the lawsuit had been done on this matter, a lot of people will get to know about what is happening, and other persons, because the nature of my job is a bit delicate. So other people in that line will be scared of working with your company. They can even resign and go and work for someone else. So
Okay,
it will be a bad image on the company, a company that has gone global. So asking for this is not too much. I have tried. From 20, I've reduced to 5. It shouldn't be one-sided. I've thanked you, I appreciate you, but I think I've tried. That's
so
my
Lisa,
take on this, sir.
yeah, but don't you think that with the way we are making progress, we shouldn't be looking at that other option of wanting to go to court and all that. I think we're making progress. So don't you think we should just focus along this line and see where it takes us to? And we basically hear what the MD has to say. Don't you think
Yes,
so?
Thank you.
I agree to. Okay, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mediator. When we started at the beginning, we didn't even want to listen to anything you had to say. But the progress has been made, and this is our first time in the mediation procedure, and we're already excited. We are getting this form of awareness that there's a system that can bring agreed parties together and they explore possible ways of resolving their disputes amicably. From the flow of things, we cannot listen to you, we cannot talk with you, and we've agreed to bring you in. We've also agreed to assist you in getting back your limbs. We've agreed to do the needful medically to bring you back on your feet. The only issue on the table now is we cannot do all of that and talk about compensation. So it's either you're talking about compensation or you're talking about reinstatement and helping you get back your artificial limbs. So these are the two things we are looking at. And it's not just an automatic ticket. Whatever we agree on, we're going to work at modalities on achieving same. So I feel we've made progress from our end.
Okay, if I may, Lisa and the MD, I think that for the first session today, I think we've done very, very well. So what I will do is to suggest that we take a very short adjournment and look at what we have now on the list as an agenda. So you have said, the MD, that it's either Lisa has a look at the restatement on one side, plus the artificial limb, and then the compensation on the other side, and that you would not want both of them being put together. Am I correct, MD?
Yes,
And, uh,
Mr.
and and for Lisa, Lisa is saying, okay, fine. She's okay with the restatement and the artificial limb, but and that she's also come down from 20,000 to $5,000, and she wants all of them taken together. Am I correct, Lisa? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
that's
this
my position, sir.
this is what we'll do. We'll take a very short adjournment and then we'll come back. And like I keep saying, you see, the beauty about mediation is win-win. Let's just
Can I,
try and think. Yeah, can I just yes, can we just think of more of other creative ways outside all of this to have this matter resolved? Yeah, so the MD, you were going to say something before I
I'm
adjourn.
thinking if she's asking for salary advance to
Okay,
enable her get back on her feet, I think it's something we can work out. So if the
okay.
other ways you feel we can come in to assist you, we can explore those options. So maybe the terminology is what we are looking at, compensation. We should be able to tie it somewhere that it can easily fly among the board of directors. So I think we are coming home. We're coming home.
Okay, so how does that sound, Lisa? As opposed to a compensation but a salary advance of $5,000. Is that something you may be willing to consider?
Well, I would just because we have been on this for some time and at least we are moving forward. We have moved forward from where we started. But it's not like I'll reluctantly take it. I'll reluctantly take the option of advance payment. That means a kind of loan. A kind of loan. I would get some kind of loan to help me take care of my expenses, pending when I can stand on my feet. Well, it's okay. I'll take it.
So I hear you, but I also hear the word reluctant. And what I'm trying to also avoid in the mediation session, Lisa, is to look as if you've been forced to take whatever it is you do not want to take. So is this an option you're okay with? And why I say so is that eventually whatever these terms that will be drafted in an agreement to be signed by both of you. So I just need to be very clear on the fact that you really actually want to go ahead with the option proposed by the MD in terms of a salary advancement and not some kind of reluctance. So I'll ask again, are you okay with the option proposed by the MD to the effect that you'll be reinstated, given artificial limbs and the salary advancement of $5,000? Is that option acceptable by you?
Yes, I'll take it because, like I said, at times it's of course I mentioned reluctant, but I'll take it. We've come a long way, and
Yeah.
there's no point dragging our feet again.
Okay. So I would go right ahead and
Upfront
draft.
5,000 or whatever, at least
Yeah. So I'll go
the
right ahead.
advance would be, so you can draft with terms of settlement. Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you so much, the MD. So I'm happy to say that we've been able to settle this issue to the effect that
Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm audible. Can you hear me,
Yes, yes,
MD? Yeah. So I
yes, I
said,
can hear you.
yeah, I said I'm happy to. Yeah, I
Okay.
said I'm
Yes, I
happy to
can
say
hear
that
you
we've been
now.
able to resolve to the effect that Lisa will be reinstated, and she will also be given an artificial limb and a salary advance of $5,000. So I want to thank you, Lisa, for your time. I also want to thank the MD for his time too, and then I will go ahead and prepare the mediation session. Thank you, and God bless. And action. So good.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a beautiful session. That was a beautiful session. So I'm
Thank you
trying
so
to
much,
see
sir.
how. So I'm trying to see how we can finish within the next 10 minutes and then just have a conversation on some contemporary issues in mediation. So Lisa, and now baby, now very quickly before we take the feedback from those present, can we just talk about your overview very quickly of the mediation session, especially my role as a mediator and what stood out for you the most? Thank you.
You were kind of careful in it's something I see repeats itself in so many mediation sections. Some mediators are very fast in suggesting options to persons, but you were careful not to suggest, but you were able to ask the right questions that brought out the options. So as a mediator, you have to be careful, especially as a facilitative mediator. You don't create options for persons, but you must know the trick in asking the right questions that will bring up those options. Very important. And you did a fantastic work. And when it comes to mediation, the mediator must be someone that is very versed in summarizing. After each party speaks, you summarize. I saw you doing that. And then another thing was the confidentiality. Even though it's more of a stimulation, but you flowed with the confidentiality. One of the key items in mediation is confidentiality. So once somebody tells you in the caucus or private session, let me use the word private session, that
Yes.
you are not supposed to, somebody tells you in the private session that you are not supposed to disclose this, you make sure you did not disclose it. And the ones the person says you should disclose, you disclose. Because that is what will win the trust of parties and would encourage them to go ahead. Then I deliberately, although we are still, it was stimulation, I deliberately interrupted. I wanted to see your, that was
I know.
deliberate.
I know.
So, so
Yes.
I like your response when I deliberately interrupted. So, and I now saw you reacting that, yes, that's the thing. So as a mediator, when parties are unruling or one person is not following the rules, you need to remind them of the ground rules. And then you must be patient. That's one of the things I noticed. The mediator was very relaxed and patient. It was not in a haste. I think those are some of the few things I was able to notice from the
Okay.
mediation.
Thank you so much, Lisa. So, baby. So, before we, Samuel, can we also have your feedback of the session before we take maybe one or two comments and then have conversations on some contemporary issues? So, Samuel, over to you.
Thank you, sir. It was a great experience for me. There's a big difference between textbook information, training information, and real life experience. You were flexible. You knew what you wanted to achieve. You knew the rules, but you applied it in a very skillful manner. You were able to guide us through this process, enforcing the ground rules. And you did a very skillful job. You allowed us to own the process. You were very instructive when you said, what other things do you think we can do? So you threw it back at us, and we now discover that, oh, it is really our issue. So we should be able to explore options. You drove us, you put the words in our mouth without you saying it, and you allowed us to re-echo it back to you. You were able to calm nerves. The way this has started, she started in a very aggressive manner. You were able to, and I was like, I'm like a mountain. I'm not moving. I'm not budging. You were able to move us from our point A to a meeting ground. You were emotionally intelligent. You sympathize. You acknowledge our emotions. You made it audible, and you're able to bring us back to a point where we could do the needful. And at some point, you said, "Oh, we've gotten to this place, let's adjourn." So we had this mindset, "Oh, let's continue." Then, when we were almost giving up, you now came back to say, "Can you think of any other way we can move ahead?" So you troubleshoot the issue, and by the grace of God, we'll be able to come to a logical situation. And this is very instructive because it's been said that no mediation, there's no precedence in mediation. Everything is unique, allowing us to express ourselves without any script, uncensored, making it real. I am very excited. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for all you do. You are doing so much. Thank you. We are grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel. We truly appreciate this. Okay, so the floor is open. Is if anyone has feedback, questions, comments, and before parties joined, I said something. I said, so my own style, I like to put myself on a hot seat. So nobody knows everything. So, and when you are participating in something, it's different from when you are being observed. So from a general point of view, can we also have anyone please unmute? Just kindly raise your virtual hands and then unmute. Let me have your own overview of the mediation session. What stood out for you in my role, and also to what you felt if the tables were turned could have been done better. So what I will do is to allow participants unmute themselves. So we'll just take that for 5 minutes, and then the remaining 20 minutes will be used in having regular conversations on two topics actually when it comes to contemporary issues. One, why first of all, what problems do people have with mediation, and why are mediators, and why are people not making money from mediation, especially mediation practitioners? Thank you. So Ojioma, can you please unmute yourself? Let's have your feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really, really, really enjoyed this session. Like I always say, there's always one thing or the other to learn when you are watched. I observed that you were very, very attentive to pick things that you need to, talk about or work on. Like when some languages were used that were against, and drawing attention to it there and then, or drawing attention to it and having it corrected. Like when you insisted on certain words to be withdrawn, and when appreciation should be made, and all that. So it makes everybody to be quite relaxed. And showing that picking those details also help the parties know that you actually have them in your heart. You're observing everything. You're really keen on it and all that. I think your own commitment to it shows in how attentive you were, and that also brought more commitment from the part of the parties in the mediation. So I think I appreciate that, and thank you very much for the way you gradually maneuvered them without even telling them, why don't we do this? You actually said it, but indirectly, or making them say it themselves and all that. So thank you very much. It's a very real enriched session.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I tell people one thing where mediation is concerned. Sometimes the only reason why your neutrality is questioned more often than not has to do with the things you say. Now, if you notice, you can count how many categorical statements I made. Everything I said, more than 95% of everything I used was what we all know for the mediators, the effective questioning techniques, the ability to ask questions and not say so much. And yes, you're very correct. Paying attention to detail is very, very, very important. And one thing parties don't even understand, they don't even see, is that when you let parties speak long enough, the solutions to the problems lies in the problems themselves. So that's why I say, once you're able to effectively master how to ask the right questions, a lot of times there is really nothing that cannot be resolved. Thank you so much, Ojema, for your feedback. I truly appreciate this. So, Fola, I see your hand is up. Can you please unmute? Let's get your own overview of the mediation session. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for the session. Yeah, it really was interesting and it seemed so real. But what I wanted to find out is, In a case where maybe this mediation clause has already been inserted in a contract, and so the parties are going straight to mediation before going to court, do we still have all the statement of claim and statement of defense? Do they write all that before the mediation session?
I would answer that question from 2 points of view. Now, with the LMDC, what usually happens at the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is that the processes are filed in court, and if it's referred to mediation, more often than not, they just send the processes to the Multi-Door Courthouse. So what you have as a mediator is the statement of claim and the defense of parties. But at the Court of Appeal that are also mediating, what they tell the parties to do, they mandate the parties to generate what is called a brief statement of fact or summary of issues. So it's really not a one size fits all, if you understand what I mean. So it depends really. So if it's a working, they file statement of fact. So that's usually what happens. So yeah, I don't know whether that answers your question, Fola. Just to put a summary. So yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. So you say that in a case where maybe it hasn't necessarily been to court, that they will ask the parties still to sort of to write something.
Yes, to write something. Yes. So what they tell them to write is called the statement of issues. So I'm sorry, so I can know how well to break this down. Are you a lawyer?
Yes, I am a lawyer.
Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. So what they will tell them to write is what is called the applicant statement of issues. That's what will be filed by them. Then whoever they send it to will then also respond with a respondent statement of issue. So that's basically what is filed. Yeah, I just wanted to know so I will know whether to use the word applicant or not. Yes.
Thanks. That answers the question.
Okay, then. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I see that Kennedy, so you have your hands up. So can I get your feedback very quickly before we move on to something else? Yeah.
Okay. Good day, everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon,
can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. Well, just like I wasn't disappointed, Fola, coming to observe you and your team. I learned a lot. My point, where I want to point out is the place of emotional intelligence in mediation. The litigation tries to satisfy the law without caring how the people feel. Whereas mediation cares for how the people feel. Okay, that's why it is called win-win situation, for instance, because mediation tries to get their consent to their own way, so to say, what we call the third way, the way the applicant and the respondent hold hands together to create their third way, their own way, by which passage is possible. Okay, now, I saw that when you were able to delve into the mind of the MD, and we discovered that it was his emotional position that made him, say, no, there's nothing else we can do. In fact, we had done more than we should ever do. And yet, when you now, it was, for instance, that, the lady did not show appreciation. Oh, he did not show gratitude to the MD. Oh, he did not. That is what makes the MD feel good. When the lady was, when the lady now came to apologize or to show appreciation, to show gratitude to the MD that, oh, he did very well and the company did very well, the MD felt good. The MD, because he was MD, and that is why we encourage that those in corporations, those at the top who could move the numbers, not just messengers, go and bring the message and come back to us. No, but those who, because it was the MD there, he was changing the numbers. He was taking decisions on the spot.
On the
That
spot.
is a plus. That is a plus for mediation. Please. And then when the lady also, it was brought to her that it was, she changed her mind to be able to get more in the bargain, and, showed more gratitude, became more remorseful about her. So it's more of, getting how, gazing, or rather, how do I say it? Being able to understand how people feel.
Well said, sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
very much. Thank you. So I'll just really respond to what you said. So for me, I tell people one thing. My secret weapon is emotional intelligence. I'm double certified, and I'm also a neuro-linguistics practitioner. And I have seen time and time again how emotional intelligence has helped. And that's why I make people understand that you see, where the business and practice of mediation is concerned, you cannot limit yourself to one thing that you have been taught. And I'm going to also speak to that on the second leg of this mediation in action. Because yes, you're very correct. All I needed to do was just to acknowledge the MD's emotions, and that changed everything. And I remember who gave me the inspiration to actually even infuse emotional intelligence into mediation. And for those of you that mediate with the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, is Mr. Kenneth Onyema. He's one of the most seasoned mediators at the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. I remember a session I saw him. Now, one thing is, and because when I became a mediator, I was very, very particular about style. And I remember I was observing him. He came into the mediation session. He was all smiles. Now, the energy he brought into that mediation session was the reason why party settled. Very contentious. He apart from addressing the facts, he addressed the emotions. And like you said, Mr. Kennedy, one thing people don't also even understand about mediation is that mediation is dealing with facts. Facts, not legal issues. And facts are subsumed in emotions. Parties come and they wear their emotions on their sleeves. So you cannot talk about proper mediation isolating emotional intelligence. They both have to go together. And that's why I'm happy. I don't know whether it was Bemi or someone that said that there is book mediation and there's practical mediation. So it's now left for you as an individual to know how to harmonize both of them together. Well, thank you so much for your intervention, Mr. Kennedy. I truly appreciate this. Venerable, I don't know whether I would like to also get your feedback.
I wanted to speak when the lady was asking. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, sir. We can hear you.
I wanted to speak on when the lady, I think it was I'm not too sure, maybe from Lola. I'm not too sure, I might be wrong. Of the documents that we file when we go for mediation. And I was saying that just like a normal court, you have to at least file something. You can call it some of issues, the respondents will reply to it. So at least the mediator will have something to have a background. At least they will have something. Whatever you call it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that something must be filed, and it could be statement of issues or the facts. What are the facts of this matter? And the response will be made by the other person. So that's just in a quick summary for that, what the lady asked. Now, on the question of style, I think what people should know about mediation is that, you see, I always tell people it's a function of your outlook to mediation that brings out the success. Now, there are some people who have innate passion for mediation, that when they come into mediation, they bring all the energy in the world. And they come to that mediation table telling you that there's nothing we cannot resolve. It depends on the parties. Because, and I say that to a lot of people, there's nothing you cannot resolve at mediation. It's a function of the cooperation of the two parties. If both parties are willing to settle, you can settle anything. But I like the way you've taken today's session. I always enjoy watching you, I always enjoy listening to you. So, and I'm sure that most people that joined today will have picked one thing or the other from it. All I would say to you is, well done. Don't drop the ball. Just keep it going. You are doing very, very well. And well done to you. Right?
Thank you so much, Venerable. Thank you so much. So I'll take Fonola's intervention and then just I'm going to share my opinion on something that's been on my mind for a while. It's a bit controversial. It's something I've thought about, and I think there is no better safe place to have this conversation. And before I take Fola, because like I said, we're not here to talk about the benefit of mediation, talk about commercial, talk about no. We are talking about contemporary issues surrounding the business and practice of mediation, not only from the angle of the end users, but also from the angle of mediation practitioners. And that is why it's not only we seem to have, I'm looking at YouTube now, we seem to have more people on YouTube than those that have signed in here. So I'll take Funola's and then I'll just go on a tirade, for want of a better way to put it. So Funola, can we please get your intervention before we start?
Thank you for giving me opportunity. I wanted to find out if there's any opportunity to sit in on a live session.
Oh, sure. You mean as a participant?
Yes, or onlooker. Or
okay, when you mean opportunity, you mean in a physical mediation session with you observing?
Whether physical or online, but what I'm saying is a real life session, whether virtual or physical, but to actually just participate as work experience kind of thing.
Okay, so the way it works in practice is this. If you are not a party to the mediation session, because of the principle of confidentiality, it may be a bit difficult, for you to come in. Now, however, if probably a party has filed an action and the case has been referred to mediation, and you want to come in as a lawyer to one of the parties, yes, you can. But if you don't have any relationship whatsoever with the case, be it as a mediator or as a counsel or as a party itself, the principle of confidentiality will not avail you. So it's not the conventional court system where you can just walk in and then observe proceedings. It will not work. I don't know whether that answers the question, Fulana.
Sort of.
Okay, so now I want a definite yes. So if I didn't understand your question well, can you please reframe it for me too? But so the bottom line is that if you're not a party to a mediation session, if you're not a mediator, if you're not a lawyer representing a party in a mediation session, you cannot observe because of the principle of confidentiality in mediation.
Yes, so I get that bit. But what if one is not a mediator, one is not, and can't a mediator take in an assistant?
No, a mediator cannot. In what capacity will a mediator need an assistant? So let me be like Nigerian and answer that question. In what capacity?
Like in sort of like arbitration, you have secretary. So a mediator can say, "Oh, this is my secretary," kind of thing, and have
no, it doesn't work in. Yeah, it doesn't work in mediation like that. At the very least, you can come in as a co-mediator, but you must be a mediator. So the only time that avails you is when you come in as a co-mediator. So that's why it's always very important for you to be a mediator first. So the mediator can bring you in as a co-mediator, but not as a secretary or a registrar, like what is obtainable in arbitration. That doesn't happen. So yes. So it's yeah. Okay, so I've just been thinking about a topic, and it's been on my mind for a while, and it's just generally surrounding the business and practice of mediation, essentially the business of mediation. And because I'm actually very, very, very passionate about people making money from mediation. And why I say so is that I see the effort that goes into it, because we're talking about basically simplifying dispute resolution, for want of a better way to put it. But I also think that it's also very, very important because, people keep putting the blame on mediation. First of all, the misconceived notion that it's not binding, which we now know it is binding. The fact that lawyers don't encourage mediation, among so many other things. But rarely have we actually looked at ourselves, and this basically goes out to the mediators here and those who are on YouTube. How do we even productize what it is that we do as mediators? You know, and there's also another concerning concept that I see, and that is the attitude of mediators always wanting everything for free. Look, the truth has to be said. If we are looking at the business of something, we need to understand that, first of all, we know that to make money, you must spend money. That's, in fact, I think if there's one lesson that we should talk about where the business of anything concerned is the fact that to make money, you must spend money. But when it then comes to mediators taking paid courses on certain things, it becomes a problem. Now, please understand that rarely would you find anybody coming to teach you the business of making money from mediation. A lot of times, what they look at is the general concept of business and then try to bring it home into mediation. Now, and that is one thing the big players in arbitration understand. They understand the business of arbitration. But a lot of us don't understand the business of mediation. Now, I was having a private conversation with someone not long ago, and I said something. I said, this thing called passion in mediation, could it be the problem? And when and please understand that I'm just going to basically ask some rhetorical questions. I don't have a fixed opinion on it. I'm just going to throw it out there. And I'm hoping that those on YouTube can probably just drop comments. If you are here right now, you can drop comments. We'll just probably extend this conversation till 3 p.m. And when I'm talking about this thing called passion, yes, could it be the problem? The fact that most people come into mediation, yes, I understand the love for it, but could that love be a hindrance to the effect that they no longer see mediation as a business? You know, they more or less see it as, oh, yeah, because if you're not basically making money from anything at all, it is a hobby. So could it even just be the mindset that they have towards it? That's the reason why it is not taking its pride of place as one of the most effective ways of having disputes resolved. And I'll tell you one thing for free, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are here, and I'm not going to mince words. Let us first of all take ourselves out of even mediation. Because first of all, if you are playing in the ADR space with specific reference to mediation, you need to first of all understand that you're a service provider. You are providing services. That's the first step. So that is on one part. Now, let us then look at the services itself. What is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, the game has changed. Everybody that has a physical problem, everything is going online. You know, businesses are now not only trying to infuse technology into what it is that they do, but they are now beginning to infuse artificial intelligence into what it is that they do. Now, so what that invariably means is that come 2030, which we've already seen it now, a lot of the problems people will be having will be digital problems. That's what they will be having. Now, let me now piggyback again. Please, I need you to please listen to me with an open mind, you know, because I have studied the trend of dispute resolution and one of the reasons why I just decided to put all my eggs in one basket, and I'm beginning to see that the way it is going, if care is not taken, it's not even care, mediation will be the future of dispute resolution. I'll tell you why that is so. Like I said, so what is happening right now is that most businesses are going online. Now, most businesses are infusing technology and artificial intelligence into what it is that they do. Now, you then ask yourself one question. Why are they infusing technology and artificial intelligence into what it is that they do? For 3 reasons: speed, convenience, efficiency. So we can at least agree, even if we don't agree on anything at all, that the infusion of technology, speed, convenience, you know, speed in the sense that, okay, fine, what would naturally take you X number of hours to do, when you infuse technology, you do it within minutes. Now, we're also beginning to see the disruption involved. There are so many jobs that will become automated. So that means that the language of the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen, is speed. Now, what artificial and speed, that's what technology is bringing. Now, what artificial intelligence is bringing precision. Now, I'll just use a pedestrian example. Back then, maybe some 2, 3, 4 years ago, if you needed to look for anything at all, you just go to Google search engine. You search. Google search engine will give you from 1 to 1,000 and all of that. You understand? But what artificial intelligence is doing now with ChatGPT and all that is to give you a specific answer. a specific answer. That is what is happening right now. So that means that speed is the language of the 21st century. So what that invariably now, what that speed is what mediation is going to be to dispute resolution. Speed, efficiency, affordability. You understand? Not cheapness, efficiency and affordability. So now, what is now happening, ladies and gentlemen, is that now the clients are now becoming wiser. They've started asking the right questions. And what is the question? What is the cost-benefit analysis of having a dispute going on for long without end? Now, this does not have anything to do with the integrity of the case and all that. It has to do with time. Time that they don't have. Time that they don't. So what the way technology is to what it is that we do is what mediation will be eventually. Because mediation will first of all give speed. Apart from speed, then again, it has one unique quality that every element of dispute resolution does not have: the possibility of the restoration of a business relationship. That is what is going to happen. And it is already happening. Because now they are beginning to ask questions. They're like, okay, fine, yes. Let us even look at all the elements of dispute resolution. Yes, we have litigation. Yes, there's a possibility I have a good case. But can you give me can I have a time frame within which you say that I will get that judgment, which may be for or against? Any lawyer what is onions knows that you cannot give a particular time for that. So do you know what that does to the client? He cannot project. Now, especially when you're in Nigeria and you look at the unstable nature, you look at the value of the money, that, okay, fine. If I'm going to look at the value of XYZ in 2, 3, 4 years, what's going to happen to it? Now, don't also forget that if the case starts at the High Court, Federal High Court, there's also the possibility of an appeal, which neither goes here nor there. Then you also have the Supreme Court. But aside from that, the most important thing again is time. And that time, ladies and gentlemen, is the game changer. So I'm then asking the mediation practitioners here, how well are you positioning yourself? How well are you strategically looking at the element of dispute resolution? Because you see, that is what is going to happen. But when, as a mediator, the only thing you have is probably your certification, you're not trying to position yourself in line with international global practices. We've mentioned emotional intelligence. We've mentioned other areas. So more than ever, and I would always continue to say this, you see, mediation is a skill. You can only become a good mediator when you mediate. There is really nothing that special about what it is that I do. The only thing is I'm just very intentional about consistency. And I'm also very intentional about compounding interest. Compounding interest in the sense that the more you mediate, the better you become. And if there is one thing, again, I think I must add, because you see, the life we live now, nobody has ever lived that life before. Because what technology is doing right now, what is happening right now, the fact that you have a skill, and this does not even only apply to mediation, it applies to those that are playing in the ADR space. The fact that you have a tool, a skill that passes the test of universality. When I'm talking about the test of universality in the sense that a mediator in Nigeria is a mediator in Kenya, is a mediator in Ghana, is a mediator anywhere around the world. So all I need to do is just to pick up my bag and then go there to mediate. But you see, and I'm happy Venerable also alluded to it, but you see what will make you stand out is your style. So as much as we may talk about the universality of mediation, two things will make one mediation different from another mediation. One, which is which is underrated, the issue of culture. You understand? Because you see, culture also plays a very, very strong role in the concept of mediation. Because at the end of the day, the way and manner, if I were to mediate now, if I mediate in Nigeria, I have to be conscious of respect. I cannot just assume that I'm having a mediation session with people that are older than me and will be comfortable with me being on a first name basis with them. That's why more often than not, you see me asking, how do you want to be addressed? But if I'm mediation internationally, even though I ask that question, 98% of the time, they always tell me to address them, they just tell me their name, address me as that. Look at the role play we had. Now, if Samuel had told me to address him as Chief Maduka Cosmos, you can imagine the title chief, I'm having that session and I'm just going like, okay, so Maduka or Cosmas, I am definitely going to lose him there and there. So in concluding, before I then, in 2 minutes, I'm going to conclude and then open the conversation up for everyone for you to please, let's have a conversation on this. These are just thoughts that are coming through my mind, is that you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan, short, mid, and long-term plan. And if your trajectory in the business and practice of mediation is a game of level 1 to 10, unfortunately, what you know is just level 1. It's just level 1 because you cannot be talking about being very good at something and not knowing it. So when I see people talking about, I'm like, look, how well do you know this? You do not want to be like a fanciful restaurant and they come in and they find out that, oh, what it is they're eating is actually tasteless. First of all, get that out of the way. The fact that you know this thing, get it. So come in, focus on it, have an understanding of it. Level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 has to do with you then letting the world know what it is that you know. And I'll tell you one thing for free. Mediation is a hard sell. Hard sell, one, because first of all, you have other areas of dispute resolution that people are quite familiar with. And they ask themselves this question: why do I change a functional will? But the change is coming. You understand? So you need to, first of all, you need to be able to, quote unquote, productize what it is that you do. Understand that, first of all, it is not only a practice, it is a business. And when we're talking about a business, the only language that the marketplace understands is product. That's all. And that's the only language the market understands, product. And that product is divided into 2 parts: goods or services. Goods is something you can see. Services, what you cannot see. And understand that the people that will buy the goods, buy the product in the marketplace, must be able to see value in what it is that you are buying. So you need to, first of all, even have an understanding of the language of the marketplace. If you don't understand, what are you selling? You tell people, oh, I'm a mediator. What does that mean? Yes, I resolve disputes for parties amicably. Okay, fine. What if I don't have any dispute to resolve? Are you saying that you cannot be of services to anybody? So one rule that people must understand once you imbibe it is the tool of ingenuity, the ability to be able to think of what it is that you can use it with. And most importantly, and this is me saying this, walking on eggshells, there has to be focus. You see, right now, we have too many people doing too many things. And you are in litigation, you're in arbitration, you're in mediation, you are in this, you are in that, you are in this, you are in that. You see, you are spreading yourself out too thin. I get the fact that you want to strategically position yourself for that windfall so that wherever this money comes from, you're able to take it. But understand one thing: there is money in everything. That's the thing. As small as this sweet is, there is money in it. Just think of the most inconsequential thing. People are making millions from it. The most inconsequential thing. So imagine if you give your 100% attention to something, you'll be very, very surprised at what the outcome is. And that's why sometimes I sit back and I say to myself, now I'm a mediator. I'm not only a mediator in Nigeria, I'm mediating with the United Nations, I mediate in China, I mediate in Hong Kong, I mediate in Germany. I'm looking at my calendar right now from November 3 to November 31. If I'm not mediating, I'm training. If I'm not training, I'm consulting. If I'm not, I'm facilitating. And this is just me doing, and I've barely scratched the surface of mediation. I've barely scratched the surface. So we are now getting to a time, and as I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, that the demands of clients are changing. They now have specific problems. They are looking for people that have specific solutions. They are looking for specialists in their field. That is what the era of generalization is giving rise to the era of specialization. That is number 1. Then number 2, you see, if you're also operating in Africa, which where Nigeria is actually, you see, there is so much focus on Africa right now. People are asking, okay, fine, but what kind of investment can we bring into Africa? But the first thing they all look at your dispute resolution clause. You understand? And when we have the negotiation, we have mediation, we have arbitration. You see that trajectory? That each trajectory should have specialists that come into place. Now, on a very final note, before I then open the ground for conversation this year, I don't believe that we cannot all peacefully coexist. You understand? I am not an advocate of competition at all. I believe so much in collaboration. I believe that even when a dispute arises and you start off through negotiation, there should be specialists in that area of negotiation. Now, if negotiation fails, and then that dispute has to come into the area of mediation, you should have specialists in mediation. Now, if mediation eventually fails, and you get to that point where you have to either look at arbitration or maybe litigation, there should also be specialists there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be my final words for today. So I have just 10 minutes before I conclude. I would like to just take maybe feedback, interventions, questions, or comments, if any, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you very much. So if there's any intervention for kindly just please raise your virtual hands or just unmute yourself and speak, and we'll take it up from there. Thank you. Is there any question, any feedback, any comments, if any? If we don't have any, then I guess I can just call it a day.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, Fola.
Yeah,
this is Charles Mosey.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Charles.
Yes. I want to take you further with what Fola said, and as you lay credence to it too. The issue of mentorship is actually at the crux of these issues, because if one needs to know the job, which you already know, by virtue of the trainings you've had, then the next thing is to have the opportunity to be able to, get the experience. And like you said, the confidential nature of mediation will not allow you to, take on maybe an observer. So how will now one be able to, get himself out there and be in the practice when you don't have the chance?
That's a very good question, and I think it's one of the biggest constraints. And the simple response is this. I train with a lot of ADI organizations. Well, when people ask me which ADI organization they should train with, I tell them one thing: train with an ADI organization that has an enabling environment for you to practice what you have been taught. I'm not going to mention names, but some organizations are just strictly into the business of training. What that essentially means is that, unfortunately, I train with some of them too. They just train people to become mediators, and then that's it. There is no continuing program. There is no follow-up in any way whatsoever and all that. And then the participants then start asking themselves one question: after this, what next? After this, what next? But because now you see that question of after this, what next, is a product I've been able to create. And what product is that essentially? It's called the mediation clinic. What do we do there? We basically simulate mediation sessions, more like what you just saw here, which is basically what we do on the side here, whereby mediators come in, we simulate real life cases for them to come in as mediators, and then we have participants, and that is it. Because I'll be honest with you, it's a lot like driving, actually. Before you get to the road, they will give you a car for you to start with. Now, when you now become very, very good driving that car, you can then have your own car. But a lot of times, what happens with participants is that the moment they become a mediator, they just stop there. They just stop there. Now, when the cases then, they don't practice, they don't look for enabling environments. So your question is really very simple. If you are not yet a mediator, if you must train to become a mediator, look for any ADI organization that has an enabling environment for you to practice what you have been taught. Now, if you now want to go private, you can please just send me a DM. We do this privately. We, for a fee, of course, we bring people together. Not this time, I won't even be the mediator. We simulate live cases. You come in, if you want a physical, there's a venue we use on the mainland. If you want it virtual, you sit down, you mediate cases, then you have trained mediators that will then give you a feedback on what it is that you have done. And that by the time you do like maybe 3, 5, 7, 9, 10 mediation cases, you're really actually good to go. Now, but please also understand that even as much as we talk about the simulation, one thing you can never actually simulate, you cannot simulate the reaction of human of human beings to the way and things they act, but it's still better than nothing. And that's why I always advocate for one thing. A mediator that does not mediate, I promise you, is not better off than a mediator that cannot mediate. In fact, he's not better off than a mediator that is not even better than someone that is not even trained to become a mediator. So I like the fact that you actually have this at the back of your mind. So that's basically what my simple response to your question will be. But you see, this basically preserves the integrity of confidentiality, because you don't want people coming into your mediation and using your private or using your confidential matter as a case study or a test study. It invalidates confidentiality. I don't know whether that answers your question, sir.
Yes, fine. Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. So we have just 5 minutes to go. Any other question, feedback, comment, or intervention? Yeah. Okay, Samuel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Do I let her go first?
Well, you know what they say, ladies first after me.
Yeah.
But then again, on the lighter note, she's a lawyer, and we don't have ladies at the back. So what do we do now?
Mr. Samuel, go ahead, Mr. Samuel. After you.
Okay, then please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, let me just compress what I have to say. Not so far from what Mr. Fola has actually said. It is funny that people within the ADR space look more outside instead of looking inwards. The question is, what is your peculiarity? What do you have to offer? People feel, oh, this is what they say, this is what they say, this is what so many said. The question is, what are you saying? Mediation is dynamic. Mediation evolves. So within the ADR space, the biggest issue is, what have you been able to spot as a challenge? What is the setback? And what services are you bringing in to bridge the gap? Mediation is a platform that gives everyone an opportunity to bring out the best that is in you. I'm having this feeling people want to wait to know everything there is to know before they can launch out. But that which you know, no matter how little it is, know it so well that you can talk about it. No matter the little you know, understand it so well, specialize in that little area. And if you understand it so well, preach about it, make yourself visible, talk to people, be proud of what you have. Knowing fully well that becoming a mediator doesn't mean that you are becoming a professional without an initial layer. You are first a professional. So you may be a medical doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be an accountant, you can be a lawyer. So within your primary area of constituency, you can create a demand. Based on that demand, you are making services. So I just feel that in the ADR space, we should start looking out for each other instead of talking against each other. There's so much we can do together. Nothing like competition, nothing like pulling. The ADR space is so wide that if everybody is mediating, we will have enough issues to resolve. I think it is our time we sing for channels to become one, instead of having caucus, instead of having, oh, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. You're only better than me because your area of competence differs from my area of competence. So I should not be intimidated. I should be inspired not to focus on my peculiarity. It may not be overnight. In the space of time, maybe months, years, my peculiarity will be appreciated and I will have a niche for myself. So I am of the opinion that we need to come together. One, what do you know? What do you have? What are you bringing to the table? How can I assist others? How can I help others? How can I volunteer? Oh, I'm new in the ADR block. Oh, let me volunteer. From volunteering, you can get access to information, get access to training, get access to skill that you may not naturally have when you just fold your hand and do nothing. Like Mr. Fola said, when you do nothing, you cannot get anywhere. Go out of your comfort zone. Somebody said, oh, okay, let me stop there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much. Okay, Fola, can we get your?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to inquire about the details of the mediation clinic. Where can we get more information on that?
Okay, are you following me on LinkedIn?
No, no. Okay, so you have it on LinkedIn, yeah?
You can please send me a DM on LinkedIn. I'll give you more details about it and then send
All
it
right,
to you. Yes, please.
that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Mr. Friki, I see you have your video on and unmuted. Is there anything you'd like to say before we call it a day? Mr. Friki, I see you have your video on and is there anything you'd like to say? Okay. So I would just like to thank everyone for your time, and it's been an interesting and insightful session. So we will be having this now, maybe once a month once a month, and then I look forward to seeing everyone. This is the first. Oh, well, maybe we might have it maybe the end of November, or whichever way or manner. Please just please follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram. And for those who want to have a private consultation on how to, okay, yeah, let me just quickly say this. If you want to have a private consultation with me on how to set up a mediation practice, please send me a message on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I'll tell you one thing for free. There is a particular trajectory that can be followed. But the most important thing, like I always say, is that you need to have a plan. That plan is very, 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 very important, because as much as we may set up the vehicle for you and whatnot, but you will be the one to get behind that vehicle. What is your why? And we then take it off from there. So thank you all once again for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you in more sessions. Have a good day. God bless. Thank you all. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful, sir. Thank you.